Alright, let's see what is on today.
The jungle is no longer safe for you.
But this is my home.
Only man can protect you now.
Oh wow, Disney's doing a live-action Jungle Book remake. Dang, that actually looks like it could be pretty good. Oh wow, and a Netflix one is coming out too around the same time.
The whole jungle has been watching you.
Wow, it looks like they're doing a different take on the character Maleficent as well.
I am not afraid.
Then come out.
Then you'll be afraid.
Dang, that's kind of exciting! Maybe there's actually a world where Disney makes a lot of these remakes and we get a lot of really interesting, good movies out of it.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? Today, audiences are as used to spotting a bad live-action Disney remake as they were in the early 2000s with bad straight-to-DVD movies. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that of all of these movies, probably one or two are at least okay, but generally they're all pretty bad.
Oh, it's for you, Master. It's from a girl.
Mrs. Potts?
The Lilo and Stitch live-action remake is coming soon, and the trailer was just dropped, and it's kind of making me want to revisit this feeling and talk about Disney live-action remakes in general. Is history going to repeat itself again, and are we going to get yet another example of a bad, or at least boring live-action remake? Lilo and Stitch is different. People are uniquely excited for this adaptation, and it brings up that feeling that I had a long time ago when the Jungle Book remakes came out. Wow, maybe a new mature story can be told here. Maybe we're going to look at these characters differently than we did in the last rendition of the film. Maybe Disney's going to actually do something that challenges both kids and adults as an audience. Maybe there's a world again where we can look forward to these announcements with hope rather than cynicism. Let's see what we've got on the lineup. Now let's get into the new trailer. I'm gonna watch it for the first time. Everyone like and subscribe to the channel because...
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment.
Okay, Stitch looks alright.
He's trying to find the police cruisers.
He took the red one.
Ha 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 ha.
What hideous planet is caught in your crosshairs?
Beautiful shot. Having the scene in Hawaii is going to be great. So the cool thing about Lilo and Stitch is that it kind of naturally works for a live-action remake. A lot of the characters are human and a lot of the emotions are based on human interaction, so we can kind of space out how much CGI we spend on the overall film and focus it on making the things that we do use it on very good. Its location is also naturally really colorful and vibrant, which you might notice a lot of Disney movies, despite their cartoon version being very colorful, don't actually translate to a very colorful and vibrant setting. Since Lilo and Stitch does, it actually kind of warrants this still being a very visually interesting film, especially with the alien component factored in. This brings to attention one of the big problems with the Disney live-action remake formula, and that's that actually a lot of these animated films really don't work that well for what the format is. If you're going to translate something from animation to live action, you need to factor in that special effects are simply not going to be as limitless as they are in animation, and therefore you need to have tighter and more mature storytelling and character building moments to offset the fact that your visuals won't be as engaging in of themselves. My thought is the more intensely colorful, animated, and whimsical the source material is, the more difficult it will be to translate into live action. And so I do think Lilo and Stitch is a good example of a film that could be adapted well. However, when you think about how many have already been done, there's not even that many good ones that are left to be done, in my opinion. The ones that would interest me at this point would be The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Black Cauldron, and Lilo and Stitch, probably. And on that note, let me know in the comments what Disney source material you think could make a really good live-action film. Assuming that Disney actually took them seriously, which we're kind of going to get to that point too. Let's get back to the trailer.
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
What the hell?
Is it what the hell? Oh, okay. PG-13 word movie, at least in the modern audience.
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is
Okay, looks good. Stitch looks good. Music will slap. Music will always slap. Point number 2 is very simple. Must have good music. Lilo and Stitch has great music.
No. Dogs on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if focusing on Stitch this much is just a marketing thing.
That means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Or if we're gonna lose some of the great story of the original. Oh.
Stitch bad.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't
Sometimes
mean they
family
aren't good. That's close.
Another thing that a live-action film can do with good animated source material is tell a more mature and complex story. I think Nani is one of the greatest characters in any Disney film ever, personally, because she has such an interesting family dynamic with having to take care of Lilo and then having Stitch thrown into the mix. And so much is put on her shoulders, and she has to deal with so much shit, like... Actually, the fact that she's not a Disney princess pisses me off. I will riot and we should sign a petition. Who's with me? Now, we did see Disney attempt more mature storytelling in the early days of the live-action era with films like Maleficent and Through the Looking Glass. They might not have hit for everyone, but at least it was an exciting time where they were trying new things. One big thing happened, though, that changed Disney wanting to take risks on these films, which we'll get to in just a second. My point is, though, that a good live-action remake generally wants to tell a more mature and complex story, and that Lilo and Stitch has the potential for that, at least.
We're a broken family, aren't we?
Maybe a little. I shouldn't have yelled at you.
We're sisters. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Wow, that effect looks really good. That looks pretty good, too. I don't know how I'm gonna feel with, like, emotional moments with Stitch.
No, wait.
I don't know how that... Pleakley looked okay.
One.
That's silly. Great music. And then May 23rd. Initial impression? It doesn't look like that bad. It looks like it's going to be pretty much beat for beat identical to the storyline of the original, which, yeah, that's one of my criticisms. But Stitch looks pretty good, and it looks like they're probably going to tackle the same themes, and as long as they don't butcher it, it's at least going to not be a bad movie, which, so far, I would say is better than the standard. It's not gonna probably be good enough that I would pay to see it in theaters, personally, because I've seen the original film already, and I'm sure it's probably still going to be better because the animation will be prettier, but I mean, it takes place in Hawaii, so maybe this will also be a very beautiful film to see in the theater, you know? Maybe I'll be missing out. It definitely just looks like a very play it safe film, though. Which brings me to my conclusion, which I'm assuming that I'm writing. Yes, although I was excited for Lilo and Stitch, at this point we can expect Disney remakes to be bad, boring, safe, or dull, because Disney can expect us to show up anyway. Disney started out with trying some new stuff. These remakes had interesting ideas with new looks on characters, but unfortunately one film which is ranked number 5 all-time worldwide box office for Walt Disney movies, and that is behind Endgame, Force Awakens, Infinity War, and Inside Out 2.
The one true king.
Yep, probably the most beat for beat similar to the original, the most boring, and I would argue one of the worst of the live action movies that's been made, is literally number 5, with nearly $2 billion made at the worldwide box office. Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast are also in the top 30. Also considered not very good live-action remakes. So if you're Disney, it really doesn't make sense to take risks when playing it safe has clearly paid off more. You get the idea though. Lilo and Stitch gave me hope. But Disney's being fed. And for that reason, I think we can kind of count them out as a powerhouse in the animation industry at this point. Well, since it seems like Disney's going to be in a little bit of a creative dark age for a while, I'm just glad that we have a lot of other promising things in animation to keep us happy in the meantime. And I'll be covering all of that, so please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time with whatever we're going to cover, which has not been a lot this year. I know I haven't been making a lot of videos, but I've been really busy and life has been really cool for a lot of other reasons, so I'll be doing stuff slower now. Peace.